Battle of the Rixes Volume 2. Um, I do want to note for a moment here that I do want to note for a moment here that well, I may be in and out a little bit. This has started an hour late, or an hour later than was scheduled, or an hour later than we thought. Not an hour later than a competitor who will not be named here thought. Um, but I'm going to blame time zones for that. So, anyway. Um, this board looks like each of them is doing commentary on, so hopefully you'll be able to find that. Yeah, Banquet is interesting. Tax also kind of interesting. RTT's suggestion of double mounted Banquet is, I think, quite reasonable. You'll have 3 turns in your shuffle, turns 3, 4, and 5 before you shuffle, and there's only 1 card out of your 16 that will miss the shuffle, so you're very likely to get 2 mountebank plays on turns 3 and 4. I think that is worth so many coppers. They're unlikely to collide. I don't know how likely they are to collide. I haven't done the math on this, but my gut is that it's worth it. And Seprix goes for Mountebank Tormentor instead, which I guess gets you some imps, but I don't know that the imps are so good. I don't know. It's interesting and it's not totally clear. Colonies kind of make a little bit interesting. Given that Mountebank still had the tax on it and Royal Carriage didn't, I might have been tempted to take another Carriage there as Seprix, although obviously he has less action density. Carriage, the nice thing in comparison to Throne Room, yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. I think I would have taken a Carriage there, but it's none of this is clear at all. I would be doing, I think, a significant amount of banqueting. It's really, really interesting, though. Okay. Yeah, so Seprix there, because he got the, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's all kind of interesting. Here I would get a Royal Carriage if I were Seprix. I did play several games with Seprix last night, which were all, I don't know if 100% all of them, but for the most part at least were interesting and kind of close, tense games. Zyric's also quite a reasonably strong player. Um, I think you just keep plowing on buying 5s. Not sure which 5 though here. Could be another Forum, could be another Carriage, could be a... I like getting a second Mountebank. I kind of like how Seprix has 2 Mountebanks and a Tormentor with some of his stuff. I guess he has a bigger deck with coppers and such, so that yeah, I don't know. I don't expect coppers to run, but it's not the most out of the question thing. Actually, one of the games that I had with Seprix last night was a Banquet Mountebank game, but there was also Tower and Stonemason. He played really well in order to defeat me there, recognizing some of the pile-out stuff, so... Yeah, this play order is a little bit tricky. You could imp and then put the Royal Carriage down, which is, I think, what I want to do, because I'm not going to call the carriage on the imp. So I think I'd play imp first and use it to play Royal Carriage, and then play Mountebank and probably call it on the Mountebank. I think I like opening double Banquet here. Huh. So he didn't do that. Maybe he tracked and knew that Tormentor was in the bottom of his deck. That would be the biggest explanation there that I can think of. RTT wondering the same thing. In chat, of course. So the game is progressing. Okay, this is another. Okay. So they split the curses 5-5. Where does that leave us? 8 here, and Xyrix goes ahead and gets a province, which seems potentially a little bit questionable to me. As that's a play you make if you think the game is ending, and I don't think the game is ending very soon. And or if you're trying to end it on provinces, but I'm not sure that it's early enough to make the play or the statement I'm going to end it on provinces, particularly with tax. So Seprix on his cheaper hands could think about taxing up the provinces if this is going to be a thing. 5 here can be another carriage, it can be a tormentor, it can be a... It's the tormentor. Okay, and Seprix gets to 9 here and takes a platinum. So I think I like Seprix's deck better. I think it's bigger though. It's actually, they're about the same size. Seprix just takes a province there. Interesting. So it looks like they're probably both playing for province then. This is a more interesting play order than the previous one on Seprix's next turn. At this point, I'd be inclined to Tormentor, call the carriage on the Tormentor, and buy another province, and just go for this province thing. Seprix instead is doing calling the carriage on the forum, which, as it turns out, is working out much better. Oh, does that actually draw a card? Not really, but comparison to some things, yes. Getting the colony there seems pretty good for Seprix. I don't think colonies are going to run in this game by any stretch, but yeah, the extra points is going to be nice. Are going to be nice. And Seprix is now going to be focusing down on provinces, most likely. Distant lands being here is, I guess, kind of interesting. The game's going to last a long time, but it does take the terminal play, of course, and your deck is so big it's going to take you a long time to get back to the distant lands, so also the effect of it being out of your deck is less good than it normally would be. I assume this is another province. Oh, no, he had a lot of carriages down, so he can take a colony there. Yeah, 5 here, forum, okay. And now we get to, this part of the game is rather interesting. Delusion, sure. So Seprix can't buy an action here. Does he get a duchy? Does he get a silver? He gets a duchy. That does make him take a debt, which, I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking this game is ending on provinces. I don't expect the coppers to run by now. I think this makes sense to be a forum or another royal carriage. Yeah, and this debt comes back to really hurt Seprix here. He just has to take another duchy there, but now you get into this duchy dancing part of the game where they're both just taking duchies. He calls, and he makes it to 8, so that's nice for Seprix. He's going to make it to 8 again here. I'm not 100% sure about exact timing on calling all these carriages. State's an interesting call, I guess. Xyrix really needs to go for colonies at this point, and he is not getting much luck. This should be a province. And now we see some estate dancing, I'm guessing. Actually, Seprik should probably tax the colonies here. Maybe not. I don't know. That's a play to consider, though. Duchy. Forum estate. Okay. He's changed his mind. Just goes for the duchy, as I'd originally expected. 8 here, can't be a province. The duchy isn't really helping Xyrix out a lot, though. Trading duchies is not really good for him. Oh, that seems like one call too many. What? Oh, okay. He just wanted to end it. Fair enough, I guess. He could have definitely, I'm pretty sure, maybe not definitely, but I believe he could have gotten to colony there, but whatever. So that's one game in the books. Kind of an ugly game. A little bit hard to follow. The decks were so incredibly large. The extra mountebank, the extra imps. I'm not exactly sure what made all of that difference. Golds. Yeah, I mean that game was always going to be long. There was no way to make it short between tax and. Okay. Okay, we have fairy, we have pageant, we have junk dealer. I expect this to be fairy junk dealer as an opening. Got a couple more junk dealers, and then you can move your fairy somewhere else. You can get a pageant. Scrying pool is going to be the way that you draw a lot, since there is actually very little in terms of other draw on this board. You can get some farming villages. You can maybe go for skulks. I would think you'd go more for gladiators for your money. How good is the workshop here? Seems reasonably good, but you don't necessarily want it too early. But picking up extra 3s and 4s is nice, and then eventually imps will be nice, so it's kind of how I expect this to go. I gotta step away for a moment, so watch the game in beautiful wandering winder-free silence. Okay, that's taken care of, and come back. They each have 2 junk dealers, I assume, given that there's 4 gone. They've each gotten a potion, but there's only 1 scrying pool gone. There's 3 skulks gone, 1 farming village. I'm guessing they each have a no. Zyrix has both of these workshops, so let's see. Seprix is playing more for money. They each have pageant, and Zyrix is playing more for this pool thing. I would have thought that you would do the pool thing, so I'm a little bit surprised by this. Looks like he's going to get much better draw. Harbinger here puts a platinum on top. Harbinger not so bad in this kind of a deck. Yeah, this is colony and store in other coffers. So this is interesting. Yeah, so Zyrix is definitely going to eventually have the stronger deck, but okay, it looks like one of the potions has been trashed. Okay, that makes some amount of sense. He's giving Seprix this junk dealer on top, which is a little bit strange. Maybe he had knew that the locusts was coming or likely to come. But seems kind of unlikely to me. So this is going to be pool 4/4 and store of coffers. Yeah, colony now would be just playing into Seprix's game plan. He needs to build a little bit more, and he needs to go for. Not sure about that platinum. I was thinking pool, skulk, farming village, most likely. Platinum might be okay. Yes, another gladiator also makes a lot of sense because he's really counting on fortune coming through for him. Seprix has used all of his coffers now. Fortunately for him, he's going to have another colony turn this turn, probably a colony plus turn. Got to trash one of these DWs, I think. Another skulk, and another imp, and another province. Okay. Probably trash your junk dealer at this point. No. Okay. Well, he needs more buys, which means he needs more actions, which means he needs another farming village. So, scrying pool, farming village, and it might be time to take a colony. Gladiator fortune is possible, but I'm worried about the number of villages that he has. I might be trying to set that up next turn, but maybe he just can't afford to wait that long. Yeah. Yeah, having an extra action for an extra buy here would have been big. I guess he would have needed to trash 1 fewer skulk as well. But being able to take like pool, gladiator, fortune, village would be a big deal. I think pool, farming village, colony might leave him okay. What? Okay. That's he spent 3 money to save 4 money, but he could have gotten like a scrying pool or something, and I think that would have been better. Meanwhile, Seprix is going to have some amount of bad hands. He needs to get to a fifth colony at least for sure. You want to imp a gladiator here. You want to make sure you get all of your skulks played. So you imp a skulk here. Sepric's not too unhappy about trashing skulk at this point. I think Skulk is the terminal he wants to play here, and there's some question about whether he trashes Gladiator. He needs more villages, Zyrix that is. I'm not sure who Jakey wants to resign. I don't think this game looks particularly over. Okay, that's a weird time to resign to my mind. Can wait another turn at least, but whatever. Um, hmm. Yeah, that was all a little bit confusing. Okay, another colony. This is a lot of colony games. um, Salvager against, well, Junk Dealer's a great start. On 3-4, I'm not sure if you go Silver Salvager or Silver Research. You do want to get a Junk Dealer at some point. I guess they're both a little bit worse due to the presence of shelters. Humble trashing hovel. That's, I guess, reasonable. I would not expect crumbling here. Oh, with Changeling, interesting. I don't know, that still doesn't seem very good to me. Junk Dealer over Trading Post, that obvious. Well, I think I prefer Junk Dealer to Trading Post. It is worth noting that there's no village here, so that's a thing. Seprix just takes a monument. Okay. So he forgoes. That also makes the lack of village makes Salvager look worse. Makes junk dealer look better. Research would get the nod for me over salvager. There's Necropolis as a village, obviously. Um, hmm, hmm. Seprix takes silos. I don't know about that. He's seen 3 of his 7 copper, so he knows this last one is a copper. He can safely skip through one of these coppers. Yeah, he stacked his deck well. He knows that that's a junk dealer. And now he can look for his junk dealer a lot, thin out that way. And the question is, I think you end up having to play some kind of a money-ish thing off the end of that. I don't know whether you can go for advisors or not, but I think you want, say, platinums. You just go past all of these coppers that you can, looking for the junk dealer, which you find, you're happy about. You apparently, if you're Seprix, you just say, forget that, I'm getting rid of my Necropolis. I don't want to have any villages. It's not worth the card slot. Second junk dealer seems good. Don't think I'd get a third. See if Zyrex makes the same decision. Nah, he holds on to this Necropolis, at least for now. Not sure. I think you just have to take a gold here. I guess he's trying to figure out what his game plan is. He does take a gold. Now Seprix gets this Dream Shuffle, and I think he should also take a gold. But we'll see what he does. There's some talk of trading post to trash 2 cards, gain a changeling, which can then be a platinum later, but he takes a salvager? Not sure about that. Doesn't seem particularly good to me. Trash a copper with the junk dealer. Humble is just better. You can salvage it later if nothing else. I'm quite confused as to what Seprix is planning here. I guess he has to salvage the monument and buy a gold, but it just seems like a waste of time to me. He can salvage his junk dealers later, which will be nice. Maybe it recoups the time. He already had a perfectly good terminal, so I would have liked to get gold the previous turn, and then this turn he could get. Oh, silos. Eh. Okay, gold. Yeah. Okay, so silos is a reason why you might want to trash the humble rather than the copper, but eh. Not the hugest fan of these salvagers in any case. Well, there goes that dream. This is probably a platinum. Should play junk dealer here. Still need to get more of these coppers gone. He should definitely play junk dealer here. And then if he draws the second junk dealer, he can salvage that at that point. If not, salvage the humble. He just salvages there and takes a platinum. Plat, then changelings money. So is the plan here, you're going to take crumbling and get a couple changelings and use those to turn into platinums at some point? Do that a couple times even? That seems bad. But what do I know? Okay, he just takes platinum changeling. Sure. Seprix is going for these changeling thing here. But it's a bit risky because he needs to find his platinum with his changelings. Guess he's thin enough that that's not that unlikely. Is this double platinum or is this colony gold? That is a lot of platinum. Just a lot of platinum. So salvage gold. You have 12. You get colony and changeling into platinum. Yeah, I think Seprix is transitioning kind of more nicely into the end game here. In fact, this turn I would probably not use silos, just salvage this junk dealer, buy a colony, and changeling for another platinum. He is not much ahead though, just the VP chips. This is exactly what Seprix is going to do. And now he gets to cycle through these coppers and hopefully for him find something better than what he did. This is really bad for him. Yeah, here I guess he salvages copper and buys something. I do not think he should mill a colony. I do not think that that favors him. I'm not sure what you get with 5 though. He's going to mill a colony. I assume he's going to take a gold here, but he could also take crumble for changelings, or just crumble for crumble, or some other source of points. Points don't seem good. Yeah, gold. Well, they're both kind of on the wrong end of the draw. Let's see. If you salvage platinum here, Seprix looks to be behind in any real scenario, probably. But let's see. Rix has 18. If he mills, or if he salvages platinum, that gives him 4 more. That'll give him 22. He could double colony here, which puts him in a bad spot, so he shouldn't do that. Oh wait, no, it puts him in a good spot, so he should do that. Great. Now Seprix has to double province, or he can't province colony, can he? No. So he just has to double province and hope, and then the hope won't be paid off. Rix is going to win this game. Yeah, there's nothing Seprix can do now. But Zyrix's deck was much better. He had a lot more platinum. The window was just not big enough for Seprix to get through. I think he played it okay, but it was just, he was far enough behind. Okay. Urchin is usually really strong. Lurker will eventually likely be able to at least gain urchins. It can also at least mill rats to be a cantrip if you don't get them together. Advance makes getting cheap actions more interesting to some extent. Stables, kind of bad with the other trashing. The only real draw besides stables, though, you could have apothecary, but if you're going for the urchin thing, your draw is going to have to come from Mining Village Oracle. Your only gains are from these cards. It's not all that strong, but the discard attack from Mercenary is. Which one is Colony? Second copy of an action. Yeah, I think you just have to double Urchin. I think. Oh. Advance is an action costing up to 6. Right, so we can't gain Engineer. Not that that's likely to be relevant. This is gain or buy? Buy, okay. And interesting. Cyrix goes for Stables Engineer. Gonna work out okay for him. Does he take another Engineer here? No, okay. And Seprix could have known this his previous turn, given that he had the 5 there. Gets a Lurker, which makes sense. Given rats on the board, at least, you want to start getting that. For 2, it's fine, at least. It's not fantastic, but it gives your Lurker something to do, even in a case like this. Here, though, he has some options. Yeah, and he just turns it into an advance. And he gets his collision here, which is pretty nice. It was slightly likely to happen given his turn 5, but not assured by any means with only 2 urchins. So this will be good for Seprix. He can probably not play this. Oh, or he could play it. No, that makes sense, because your mercenary is still in the shuffle. Here he could buy an urchin for 2 points. He could buy a mining village. Those are the main options, I think. Guess he could take an engineer. Mining village, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Here you should discard down to, yep, exactly this. And this is pretty good. Being able to trash 2 estates is nice there. Probably take another mining village. though now engineer is more of a serious consideration, and he does take that. Xyrix is rolling now. It's 3 stables. Um, uh, okay. Um, hmm. Okay. Well, hmm. I don't remember what Seprix has in his discard here. Takes a Nomad Camp. Well, given that he can draw it immediately, that makes some sense. He's going to take Oracles, or is he going to take Lurker Mining Village? You want both of these kinds of things going on. Um, might be a little bit early for Oracles. Takes a Stables. Okay. He's going to start having some issues with that, yeah? Because there's not that many treasures. You really want to start transitioning towards Oracles, I think. You need a lot of mining villages for that to work, obviously, but the thing about the engineer is that it scores points, I guess? I'm not sure. Assume you discard with the stables here. No. He wants the mining village first, and he takes some by. Okay. Not sure about this keeping from Seprix. If he draws Mercenary, he's going to be very sad. If he doesn't draw Mercenary, what is the Nomad Camp really doing for him? I guess it's being a little bit of money, helping him pay off the debt, but he doesn't have any other draw. If he draws Stables, it's fine either way, I guess. I still think I like keeping an extra copper a little bit better, though. So, talking about taking the points. Well, the way that you take the points here would be Stables Candlestick Maker. Oh, he's spending money. Which means, okay, his undo means he doesn't want to... Yeah, okay, okay. It's a lot of Candlestick Makers, though. It's a lot of Candlestick Makers. I wouldn't buy anything here. Okay, and here we see the perils of Stables. This is a lot of Stables for both of them to have. Do I remember how many coppers he has left? How many treasures he has left in his deck? Well, he doesn't have any treasures other than his coppers. There's 8 coppers in the trash. And he saw 2 last turn, if I'm not mistaken. He had 3. And then he discarded 1, 2. So he's seen 5 of his coppers. Wait, he's seen 5 of his coppers. He has only 4 left. Right? Yeah, he has 4 coppers left. He's seen all of his coppers. He needs to get some silvers to feed these Stables. Wow! That's very bold. Well, I would expect this engineer to start gaining some treasures, and I would expect the lurker to get taken here. I mean, he knew that he wasn't going to find any treasures, right? But that seems a premature resignation to me. I don't think that makes sense as a reason to hate that line of play. That didn't guarantee him the coppers on top, did it? Maybe it trashed the coppers in such a way, or that he just took so many Stables, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so here's my secret tech. Sometimes Guildhall can counter Ambassador a bit. Sometimes. Battlefield also kind of interesting, although with shelters, I don't know. I still don't really believe in skipping Ambassador for that reason, although Priest is kind of a reason. Exorcist could be a reason. I don't think skipping it's crazy. Doesn't seem particularly good, but I wouldn't go double anyway. Yeah, Exorcist. Probably Ambassador. Your turn 2 and get nothing. Yup. Subrix should take not sure between Encampment and Faithful Hound. Guildhall is pretty good even when you are ambassadoring, though. Gives you a lot of coffers, which are really good in an ambassador game also. So he takes the Hound. Now Xyrix is going to have a similar play. We'll see whether he goes for... He goes for Encampment rather than the Hound. I think I like the Hound slightly better, but it's a little bit tough to say. So here I would return 2 coppers and take a silver, I think, but he goes for the Guildhall a bit more aggressively. I don't mind taking a Soothsayer here, honestly, because I do think that plan is pretty good. If you're going to do that, you probably want a priest, and you definitely want a lot of encampments, but given ambassadors' kind of ineffectiveness and the draws kind of weakness, I don't mind at all the I would take probably encampment here, possibly enchantress. Okay. I think Rix is doing well here. Return 2 coppers and take an encampment. I think gold is good, particularly with the Guildhall and with encampment. Well, I wouldn't think it was good without the other things, so yeah, definitely just with those, but I think I would take Guildhall now and exercise a hovel. I do not like Rogue. Really don't like Rogue at all. Here on this board. Seprix goes for this line. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think I would have not gotten the Soothsayer there, trashed a copper, kept my Necro around, and picked up, I don't know, another Enchantress or an encampment or something. But the Soothsayer isn't crazy, I guess. Seprix here can take an encampment or a silver. I think those are the 2 main options. Takes a silver. Well, Rix should lead on Wisp. And yeah, he just goes ahead and fires off the encampment. I think that makes a lot of sense. Now probably Soothsayer Ambassador. Pick the encampment back up. No, he goes for Enchantress Ambassador. And is he going to exercise the Soothsayer? Or just stand pat? Stands pat. Okay. Wisp, Wisp. I assume this is flinging coppers back and maybe buying a Soothsayer. This is a tough spot, though. He's going to reveal copper. I assume you're giving 2. What does he buy? Just an encampment, maybe? And he trashes the copper. Okay. He's going to need a way to keep these encampments around soon enough. Yeah, and Rix is really hurting for missing his necropolis now. I assume he buys another encampment here. Takes a market? I do not understand that. And now I'm not sure, again, what Seprix is doing. He probably wants to get a gold so that he can get encampments. He takes a soothsayer so that he can, for a similar reason. Wow, he gets rid of his ambassador. That seems really aggressive for against somebody who has a soothsayer. Blimey. Well, this is probably like double encampment. And say, let's go. I think I would have taken double encampment, but not played one of these coppers so that I could trash it with Exorcist. Still want to keep my ambassador around, but okay, it looks like that's maybe what he's doing. No, he really wants another market, I guess. So he spends the coppers. First market's okay, but I think you have to risk this. It's a 50-50 for Seprix. Not sure what else you're doing. Well, I guess this is the answer. He gets a market. This is quite risky, though. He needs to get an ambassador back, yeah. Parantu. Because he's going to be very, very junky here. Interesting. Giving the curse back as opposed to getting rid of more stuff, which is what I think I would have done. 2 encampments in a market. And an enchantress, okay. Is there a way that you can try to hold the wisps until later? Because they're more likely to draw later. So the soothsayer looks kind of bad now. You don't really want that many golds. You don't really want to be giving that much in terms of like the curses and stuff. He's going to exercise his silver. He should take encampment ambassador. Yeah, exercise the silver. Yeah, okay. Well, this is, I think, a good line for Seprix. The soothsayer should go away pretty soon. I'm not sure that it was ever really better than just getting a gold, given that he could have afforded the gold, I guess, but like you kind of want about 2 golds, I guess, but giving the curse and drawing them a card is not the greatest thing. Now you definitely pitch this curse back, and I assume this is probably going to be double plunder. No, that's a lot of enchantresses. Wow, that's his only market, right? I'm not sure about doing that with your only market. You play the hound here. I would not play the soothsayer because I don't want to draw my opponent more cards, and I don't really need the golds that much. I would exercise the soothsayer, in fact, probably. He gets another market here, I would guess. He could get a plunder. I think there's only one. Maybe I'm not keeping close enough track of what this draw pile is. This is not a good hand for Seprix. Although, given that he's going to be Enchantress, he can lead on the Hound. Yeah, Sepric seems very far behind. All of these terminals can be played. That encampment went back in the pile? Wait, what? Maybe I'm not understanding what was happening right. Yeah, you don't want to use those coffers. You just want to go encampment, plunder, plunder, right? And Xyrix has just an enormous, enormous lead at this point. This goes into probably Imp is better than Ghost. Yeah, he thinks so too. Yeah, this game looks pretty over. Xyrix has a short-term lead, and he has the plunder and the encampment leads. He just has everything you ever want here. Yeah. This is two bridges duplicate? Hmm. Cursed Village helps you go along. Minion attack was normally strong, but not so good against Cursed Village and Diplomat. Remake helps you thin. It's an interesting question. It could be duplicate, I guess. Okay, so this is taking silvers and a border guard? Yeah. And another border guard. Okay. Sure, this doesn't matter. Cursed Village, fine. I think you take the one that puts them on top, not the one that shows you three, despite having another thing. I want to be able to, I don't know, maybe that's wrong. I think I agree with Freaky about what you do with Seprix's hand, although I guess I could see it the other way. You want to start getting more force as well, so you got to take the remake here. I'm not sure how you go between bridges and duplicates. This is never something that I've been able to figure out. Okay, more border guards. So now you take the horn. Okay, so it's horn versus lantern here. Do you play the bridge first so you get the border guards here? I think you do. And then you buy another bridge. Possibly a duplicate. I don't think Diplomat ever factors in. Okay. I'm not that concerned about the wall. I am also not sure that it will actually end 40 nothing because I think it's most likely to end on a pile out. So you do have to worry a little bit about the wall because of that. Okay, well, Seprix is really short of actions here. He needs to get another cursed village, right? So he can do this, duplicate that, yeah, and now that was quite fortunate on the war there to not lose anything. Takes the interesting. Okay. What is this -1 point from? Oh, it's from wall. Whereas Rix is a little bit thinner. Seprix still has the... No, he doesn't still have the 2 remakes now, though. He has 2 bridges, a duplicate, and 3 cursed villages. That makes me think that he's ahead. Okay. Okay. Gotta take this bridge, right? Silver. He should start to take duplicates. You border guard. Duplicate bridge. Oh, duplicate, duplicate. If he would have taken bridge, he could have bought pilgrimage. Here, he can either buy a silver or nothing. Okay, yeah, and pilgrimage? Yeah, okay. Which of the artifacts do you take? Well, I guess he's gonna get them both. He's gotta look for remake here. You remake these coppers just straight away. Now you can do everything you've ever wanted. You just gotta play all this stuff. You play one of these actions, you play your cursed village, play the other actions. You need to make sure doesn't he need more villages than that? I guess he doesn't. He definitely doesn't have the actions to play them all. He's just going to do it over a couple turns. I guess. So remake and then village and then bridge. The problem with doing bridge first and then the village is that you remake into twos and there aren't any good twos left. You have to take estates. Sephrex has a 17 card deck. Zyrix's deck is much thinner. Zyrix doesn't have any money. Maybe he has to go copper down, border guard into silver and draw. He looks like he's in a bad way, though, no matter what he does. I guess he's got this duplicate looming, huh? So she can get him another bridge and another Curse Village and probably a duplicate. So he needs to... Well, he can buy a copper so that he can pilgrimage the duplicate. This way he can't. So he's going to have to get Cursed Village, Bridge, and Remake. Or nothing instead of Remake, I guess. Oh, can you do that? Huh. Well, this looks like a pile out is possible here, right? He can get the Cursed Villages and the duplicates. That's 6 extra cards. But if he remakes into something, into at least some of them, then I think that works. Take the village, and you remake silver duplicate into duplicate Curse Village. This is all kinds of wrong. He only has 1 duplicate down. Well, Zyrix probably has a pile out now, but not on a win. If he finds his remake, he can like remake his, I don't know, some stuff into some stuff. question is, do you play Remake and then Cursed Village, or do you play Duplicate and Cursed Village? So he plays Duplicate, Cursed Village. Then he can get a few duchies, which doesn't seem like a great plan. I don't know, it all looks pretty bad. I'm trying to remember what hexes are left. There's problem is I can't remember what all the hexes are to start with. He's going to do the remake first line. Now is he going to remake a duplicate here? Or is he going to remake the copper? We're into this weird endgame dance, and it doesn't look good. Are there two remakes in the trash? There's just one, so somebody has two of them. I can't remember who that is. I think it's Rix. Who I'm fairly sure could pile out here, but not profitably. Okay, so if he plays Duplicate here, then he can play Cursed Village to draw. He'll draw this last card. He'll draw a silver. He goes Curse into silver, Duplicate into Duchy. He starts by playing Duplicate, and then he plays Cursed Village. Then he remakes. He just plays that there, which means he didn't want to trigger this shuffle, which means he probably wants to play Duplicate, Duplicate, and then remake, and then buy something. This looks all kinds of weird. Diplomat time, maybe bridge. Yeah, it's just all kinds of bad though. Buying province wasn't ever working, was it? Maybe it was. Maybe a little bit of points makes the pile out harder. I don't know. You take the bridge. You take the duplicate. I don't know what you take here. Except you take the lantern. I know you take that. Yeah, duplicate probably makes more sense because you already have a bridge and you want to get your duplicates down. You do need to... Yes, this comment in the chat seems to be right, but I don't mind thinking about it because it's not that obvious to me. Okay. You play bridge. You play border guard, right? There's definitely a pile. The question is there a pile that wins? But I think there is. You gotta play the border guard, you gotta find your remake. He didn't take his remake, he took a cursed village. Well, okay, that makes sense. That's a thing that you would take instead. I think you play the border guard though. I don't think this makes... Oh, there's another cursed village down there. This should be fine. No, this isn't fine. Well, that's okay. And now, how many duplicates does he have down? 2. So he could just buy duplicate and duplicate it and win. Yeah. All right. Well, is that 6 games? I guess it is. We'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching, everybody.